Hello there and welcome to my next video on my YouTube channel, Unapologetic with Lorelei. Um, Today I'm in another beautiful piece of nature, and I don't know if you have seen videos from me before or not, but you probably know that I'll be showing you around soon in the area where I am at the moment. I always vary between forest, heathland, etc. And I talk about topics like today. Well, there's more topics of course, but the topic for today is a topic of that relates closely to living my life in a cabin in the forest with my children, and it's all about perspective. Actually, how things in the forest um, not even showed me another perspective. Well, a little bit, yes. I'm still learning every day and seeing things and seeing through things every day, but mainly also that living here didn't really change my life. It just confirmed already a little bit, or a lot actually, what I've known all along about myself, how I stand in life, and perhaps you can relate to this, and perhaps I hope that you would like to come and join me on my walk here in the forest and whilst talking more on the topic. So it's all about living in the forest, what nature can teach you, and what nature already can confirm uh, that you knew already deep down inside. So I will be flipping the screen here, and I will show you around and talk more on the topic. So I'll be seeing you on the other side of the screen. Right, so here I am on the other side of the screen, showing you around where I am at this particular moment. And it's a cross between forest and heathland, which I love to be here so much. It's close to where I live, and it's a beautiful area, and I love to spend time in here. And saying that, well, first of all, as you probably gathered by now, English is not my mother tongue, but everything I'm saying comes from a true heart, and I'm doing my best to make as little mistakes as possible. So I hope you can listen between the lines of what I'm saying if I do make mistakes here. And coming back to the topic of living here in the forest, in a cabin with my children, um, as I said before, living closer to nature, it didn't really change who I am. It just merely confirmed what I had already known inside of me, known all along. Of course, you can doubt yourself sometimes and say, is this real, or am I just dreaming, or am I just being ignorant, or all kinds of things have been thrown to my head already over the years. But no, it's confirmed what I always knew, that I believe my inner peace, at least, it doesn't come from possessions or approval of other people, but more like from simplicity, from being, and also very much the truth. Truth is also another thing. But so for me, the perspective has always been like the art, almost I would say, of seeing beyond things, seeing beyond appearances that people show you sometimes or perform right in front of you, and you can just see right through them. And what other people call success or normal, it's just, I tend to have different views on that, and people don't always appreciate that. But never mind about that. It's about my inner peace, as I said before. So nature, more or less, when I came to live here, it became more like a kind of mirror that showed me that I'm not wrong at all for feeling what I've always felt all along. And I'm just right here where I'm supposed to be. I'm not per se saying the country or whatever, but it means I'm here where I'm supposed to be, very close to nature, and spend lots of time in nature. For me, the beauty of it all is when you live surrounded by trees and in the middle of nature, you begin to see how little you actually need. And I'm not saying I'm all living minimalistic. I'm living small because my cabin is like a tiny, kind of tiny house. And already from that respect, I know you don't need a lot, and you can be very creative with storing things, and still doing and having what you have, what you want, or what you need. But the actual need, what you need, is much less than what you would expect from yourself when you grow up. And so it's unnecessary also, so to keep on striving for things, and the striving part of me just calmed down, and I don't need to strive and achieve, and there was so much, well, actually noise around me. I know people who came to live here also. Then it's such a relief just not to have this constant noise and of people around you. Just seeing things, just a crowded city. I'm exhausted when I come back at home, because of course you sometimes need to be there for some reason. And I'm just so happy the moment I open the gates for my garden and my home. It's just like, yeah. Actually, already before that, my street is already one big street. It's not paved. It's just something like you see right now. And yeah, I just love that you can just. I'm already a little bit unwind when before I reach my home, and it's just wonderful. But also, it's about perspective. So I know now, even though I was born in a city, I wouldn't be really happy with there anymore. And of course, there are people who are very happy in a city. Good for them. Perfect. I mean, find your thing, find your place, find your spot. Even in living in the city, I would make my home also my quiet haven to be, and be calm there. But it just feels so good to be in rhythm. Actually, I have to say it quietly, with your own feelings and with your own way of living that you like to live, than keeping up with anybody else's. So I think that's a very important one for me. For me personally, I don't know if you can resonate to this, or if you have totally opposite things and you need to be around people and in a city, then that's good for you too. Then that's you and you being you, and that's great. Because for me, I always believed that meaning for me lives more in quiet moments of caring for things, very much caring for my children. I'm a real mama bear, and it just feels good. And it's also in staying true to your values, and even when they don't fit the world's standards around you. I believe as long as you live up to your own standards and your own values, that's where it's at. That's just the ultimate kind of inner peace, I believe. So in that respect, living in nature didn't give me a new perspective on things. It just confirms the one thing I've been holding and believing all along, and that is such a comfort feeling. It's not. I don't need approval as such, but just to feel you're at home, truly at home where you are. That's just more than words can say, really. And it's especially also about when it comes to family and materialistic things, and because I've seen from close by, and also in the area where I live, where so as long as sorry as soon as I leave here, the natural part of it, there's a world out here with big villas and a lot of big fancy cars, and it's all beautiful. I love to watch it. Don't feel the need to own it though, but I've seen how easy it is for people to measure their worth in status or in belonging, and how quickly that creates a distance, well, certainly between me and them, but it creates distance, it creates judgment, it creates pressure. Those people are under a lot of pressure, and they don't even realize it, and they really need to go on holiday every 6 weeks. And I don't feel that need, because I mean, life feels, well, I don't want to exaggerate, but it does feel like a little bit of a holiday every day, because even when people come to my cabin and come to visit some friends of my children, and the moment they step in, say, "Oh, it's so nice, it's so cozy, and it feels like a holiday here." And oh, I love that. I love it more than anybody would ever tell me. Like, "Oh, you have a beautiful house," because it's not beautiful. It's just nice and cozy, and so I achieved, I think, what I wanted to achieve in that respect. And for me, you know, there's no power in owning those things and owning beautiful things. I don't feel like it. I'm sorry to say so, but again, that's just my opinion, and this is what my channel is about. I'm sharing my own experiences, my own insights, and more, and nature, of course, and and that's what it's all about for me. So what remains also, I believe, is real connection, and another understanding that yeah, we all return to the same ground, if you can say it a little bit dramatically, but we're all coming back to the same thing, because we all grow older, we all will experience maybe disease or other uncomfortable things when you get older. I'm 63 now, and I'm very blessed to have been saved from that. And but it does happen. So it's the connection with yourself. I think is so important to keep it all throughout your life. And living here, being in nature, confirms that once again for me. I can see how nature moves, how nature changes and adapts and stays strong. It's a great life lesson actually. Well, for me, perspective has always been my anchor, so to speak, and it saves me from slipping into feelings of not enough or less than, and it keeps me also from believing I'm doing something wrong. And when I simply choose a different path or a different truth than a lot of people around me or a lot of people I grew up with, and that's just it's just so great and it's just a great feeling to accept it from yourself. And if you allow me to be a little bit poetic here, I could say like the trees don't compare, and the wind doesn't ask permission to move, so to speak, because it just moves, and the wind and the trees just follow along. And for me, that's freedom of nature, and it reminds me of my everyday life. And so I can clearly say that living in nature hasn't made me different, as it has more and more allowed me to become myself again, and it keeps confirming to me every day again that simplicity and kindness and awareness, the one that I showed and I gave to myself and to my people around me and to my loved ones, it was never a weakness. It was always a strength, and just waiting for the right place to breathe and to be. And I think I found that place.